No, this is 3Point. It's the same guy, he just has a different account, I think, now. Which he's using. Is that this match? For some reason, I don't know. On the other side, we do have Classic. Not Plastic. Who's already sending over a plastic probe. And that's a very fast one. That's designed to shut down that hatchery first play. Which is maybe common, I'm not sure. But yeah, he is gonna block that. Definitely, there's no way to get that done. And we do see the drone coming down here, but probe's already sitting and waiting. So this is a no-no. We might even throw down a pylon. That was such an early probe here. Definitely wants to fully block that one, and there's gonna be the pylon. He might now tag the... Oh, okay, so Threepoint just takes the wall anyways, and he says, I'm gonna commit this position. So you might want to let that pylon finish. As Classic, I feel like that's gonna be a very valuable way to play this. Like, very, very disgusting. And he does actually finish up the pylon, so now he can also throw down a Cybercore if he wants to. But you kind of want to get your own Nexus up first. Now there's gonna be that pool. He will still have a hatchery down here, so don't get me wrong. He cannot, like, it's not like he can't mine from this location. It's gonna be a little bit long distance mine, but actually not too far. It does reduce the income by half, I'd say, maybe a little bit more. Maybe you're still gonna get about a third of the income that you would if you start to send drones down there now. So it's not the worst. I think it's a playable situation. It's interesting that he chooses to do this though, over just getting into a third base location first. So he gets up the macro hatchery first. He's just gonna utilize that for the production. Now he still takes a third base location before the natural. He was maybe gambling on the pylon being cancelled. Unfortunately that did not work out, but then you can't really cancel your hatchery because of that. So maybe this is getting a little bit worse than he was expecting it to go. But in the end, I think he's gonna be able to settle on 3 bases here rather nice and early. Should definitely make a few links. Those are gonna be very, very quick to deal with that pylon. Really down a pylon very fast. Anything actually that doesn't move. These links have so high DPS, it's insane. So look at that, man, it's so fast. Like StarCraft War links attack speed is basically like a StarCraft 2 Ling if it had Adrenal. And of course, these don't have Adrenal yet. They can still get Adrenal, which is another 20%, I think. Oh, it's 40%. Oh my god. So they are gonna be like the most insane super weapon, powerful, mega anti, like everything. Like they probably destroy buildings faster than you can. I don't know. There's nothing really that's gonna be faster. They can kill buildings faster than anything. Faster than you can say the word fast. It's insane. If you have 3 links with attack adrenal glands, 40% attack speed boost. I mean, look at them just snagging these adepts. One adept is gonna make it through here, but this is not looking like the opening that Classic wanted to play. This is a good adept though. These links were just kind of idle there for a while. He's gonna get 2 drones, maybe a third one, and that would kind of salvage his situation. He's gonna get the third one. So that's a decent trade in the end, but that is on 3Point because he was sleeping on a job there. He could have definitely defended that a little bit better. Split off a few links into the main. Defended that a little bit better. This spore timing, a tiny bit too late. Losing 4 more drones there to this Oracle. And the wall is complete though, but you're not gonna get this done with only 1 adept in the wall. That's not gonna be enough. The second adept does pop. And we do see the second Oracle actually shooing away these links. Yeah, +1 melee here, getting started up for 3Point. And who's making another spore here at the natural base. Oh, almost being able to block that Nexus there. Would have been actually a good block. I don't think he can get the deny now with these adepts in these nice positions here. He's gonna lose the links. He does get 1 adept, but that's about it. And the Oracle trying to get a little bit more action here across the map, not really finding anything. 1 Oracle is gonna tag the links at home here. Just stay on top of them for now, and after he accumulates 3 oracles, seems like he wants to go in. I don't think you can really focus down spores, so gonna be a difficult proposition. Find that much value here with these oracles. Rotate the first out, but he misclicked that one. Takes a little bit more damage than he really wanted to. A little bit of miscontrol here on these oracles. Lynx are still trying to find something across the map here. They can't even get these transferring probes because this shield battery is in such a great position. 9 drones did fall down. But the drone count isn't bad at all, but the actual army count is really bad. Templar Archives on the way here. We do see the Forge is spinning on the +1 and the charge is coming in as well. So we're gearing up for a charge of the Archon push, 5 more gates here, and Classic just wants to run through Threepoint, who is seemingly doesn't really have an army right now. And we will scout that Hydra there, and that also means local aspect could be on the way here. Of course, the lair is done, and I think that was seen as well. We could double check here. No, he actually doesn't confirm the lair yet, so he should definitely get that piece of information, because that's necessary to make the lurker aspect. Threepoint needs a miracle. Indeed he does. This is not looking good for him, but maybe he can get that one fight. I mean, the oracles are there, so even if he has lurkers, he's gonna get tagged. The lair is now confirmed. Spending some more money, some more energy here on these oracles, which could be good. And these oracles are getting quite low at this point, so maybe there is a play where he can get some lurker engaged to work for himself. But yeah, we actually see that Classic is going into that storm, and he's not gonna commit to the Archon charge out attack. And he just continues to macro up. I think we're gonna see a 4th base here very soon, probably after the storm is done. Gonna be a little bit of a Stracy's trap here. Good to see you, MW. Hope you're having a good one. And he will still make a few Archons. Let's see how aggressive he's gonna be with this. He might just wait for the Warp Prism and then push across the map. +1 is gonna be done here. Robo is a little bit late, but we do see a Spire on the way. That could be a big move here. So Threepoint is trying to set up a few miracles for himself. There is no scout. Oops, where's the Spire? There is no scout on Queen's Nest? Wait, where's the Spire? What am I? And on the Spire. So he has no clue. He sees the lurkers now, but the oracles are at home, so he needs to bring them to the front line to actually be able to fight this army. He's gonna throw down a storm. You need to move out of the storm because that's the old storm. 110 damage still. So 2 storms are still gonna kill a lurker. You just sit there. There are the attacks coming in here. You need to defend these lurkers, but he doesn't really have anything on the ground to stay on top of those. So if they get surrounded by zealots, it's kind of the way you want to deal with those. Another storm, unfortunately only hitting one of these 2 lurkers there. This army is getting very thin here right now for Classic, so I don't think he can commit to this fight much longer without additional units coming in. We do see a zealot reinforce now coming across the map. There's going to be a 4th base being set up as well. Another attack here is going to attack those 2 lurkers again. We'll lose another Hydra here. We'll lose that creep colony. No, that has a lot of HP. And we do see lurkers trying to be morphed, but that's just not gonna do it, I think, here. Those Archons a little bit too powerful with their anti-biological damage. Punching these out. Come on, finish this one. No, he's actually gonna get the lurker out. Oh, that's some good storm down there, and he is ransacking this 3rd base location for now. Threepoint did invest a lot of structures there. A lot of tech is over there, so he cannot really lose this base. We're starting to run out of tech energy here on these oracles, but it might just barely be enough to get a last of these lurkers since there's only 25 energy. And Classic is going to take the first map here between these 2 in this series. Unfortunately, Threepoint's miracles were a little bit too late, but he had a few opportunities, I think. He had the Queen's Nest, didn't really have any upgrades for the Queens. I think he didn't get Ensnare. You only start with Parasite if I'm not mistaken there. Ensnare could have been a good one. Didn't have the Mutas come out, and well, that was a little bit too late on the Spire, I guess. And unfortunately, the lurkers were not in position. Didn't have enough support. there was a lot of pieces to the puzzle missing, and maybe he overinvested in trying to get too much tech out while not having enough units to be actually able to hold his one strength that he was building into, which was the lurkers. And now Threepoint can choose if he wants to play Brood War or if he wants to play StarCraft 2. Gonna go to the map. It's a 4-player map. And Threepoint does choose to play StarCraft Brood War again. In the bottom left you have Classic, who's up 1-0 by the way, and then we have in the bottom right Threepoint here. That's kind of a cool green. I think it's not actually teal, even though it looks a little bit like teal. It looks like a dark green or dark teal or something. And then we've got purple here. So that's a very, very good scout for Classic. Effectively, this is a non-cross spawn map, so you can only be vertical or horizontal. That means that this is effectively a 3-player map in the way the spawns work. But of course you have 4 mining locations or 4 starting locations. That means that the map split is possible. What makes this map interesting is that you have 18, you have one more patch in the main base on minerals. That means the builds like this for Classic is gonna be a little bit later on gas saturation, but it does allow for more mineral income in the early game. So that does... He actually trapped that. That's so funny, so you need to recall that now. Oh, that's so funny. I can't believe it. He trapped the probe with the spawning pool. What are you doing, Classic? That's unbelievable. He should recall that. But he might just... I think he just realized now. That's not gonna get cancelled. So he might recall this, but he might also just keep it there for a while. Because you know that there's not gonna be any queens that could attack you, so... There's actually nothing early game that can shoot down this probe. It's like a... It's like a cookie for later he's keeping around. But yeah, you're not gonna kill your own pool just to get rid of that probe. He might get a Ultralisk eventually to kill that, and if he goes for Hydras, but that's also like a tell in itself. So, I'm not sure if I like this decision actually to wall this in from Threepoint. It might come to bite him, and he has now an impregnable mining kind of disruptor. Oh, he's actually gonna try to bring in the adept, but that didn't work out. I'm so focused. Oh, he mines minerals. Now he has to attack the pool. But that also means that you can't defend the pool. What did you do, Threepoint? Are you gonna make a sunken now in your main base? Because it's gonna eventually kill the pool? Are you gonna go for a Hydralisk then? So he throws down the Hydra then. I wonder how much that is a reaction to the probe being able to kill the pool if he doesn't do anything about this. I think you want to make the Hydras anyways, but man. Oh, he actually makes a sunken? So he doesn't want to reveal the Hydras, I guess? Maybe he cancelled the Hydralisk then? I think he cancelled this, yeah. He makes a sunken. This probe paid way more than it costs. It made a sunken. So it killed a drone. Oh, he has the links inside, but I really need to talk about this probe. That was like the best probe ever. Because it effectively got rid of a drone. It made a building that's almost useless. And it had to morph as well. So a creep colony in addition to the sunken colony, I wonder how much money there's. Like usually it used to be 75 and 50, and then the drone 50 is 100. 75 minerals sitting here now doing nothing. And if he comes in with an oracle, I mean, he scouted that there's no Stargate, but if he eventually comes in with any air units, this sunken is even worse because it blocks the spot for the spore. So you need to make like spores on the peripheries here. And then there might be an opening over here where you can kind of attack something. And this is like the worst situation that Threepoint created for himself. I really like the moment that was trapped, but I think it's never a good idea to trap a probe of your opponent inside your own base if you can't attack it. No Forge coming in here. Man, look, Classic is losing a lot of stray units here, so this is looking decent for Threepoint. He's really conquering down on the map control. And he seems like he knows what's up. Of course, he had a lot of scouting intel, so he is going into a lot of things now. The Spire, Hydra Den, and a 6 sunken defense against a Zealot Archon push. I wonder how much Classic is kind of into this. I think he goes up to 6 gates, or 7 actually, and so that's a lot of gates, but this might not work out. And the Spire could be sealing the deal here for Threepoint actually. One thing you need to do is you need to target that Archon with all of these Sunkens now, which he's not doing right now. So that's an executional mistake we see here. You really want to target down the Archon, because then you can start to fight with the Lynx, and then you can also really fight with the Mutas. And now he comes in with the Mutas. He's still going to be able to fight off that Archon because the Mutas just have such a superior range. Yes, they do. The Brutal Mutas have 2 more range than StarCraft 2 Mutas, 5 range indeed. That's a very, very long attack. And we're coming in now to ravage the army here, sorry, the position for Classic, who's responding with a double Stargate. And this is the moment where the Sunken might be just a weak spot eventually. But let's see if it actually comes to that. Recall on these Zealots, I like the decision. It's not does not want to lose all of them. Gonna salvage at least some of that. And Threepoint is gonna go and take a 3rd base now eventually here. Classic is kind of stuck now on these 2 bases for a while. I wonder why he's not going into air weapons. I feel like that if you go to port, kind of want to go there as well. I'm gonna try to engage now already. These Phoenixes only have 1 range advantage. Oh, actually, I think they have the same range. I know, look at this. Yes, they do have the same range, so they need to be very careful. He's gonna go into the range upgrade, making that fleet beacon. And yeah, I'm not sure why he's not. I guess he really wants to do lurker drops. That's why he's not wasting or aggressively trading these Mutas. You could go in and try to fight these Phoenix. It's very simple. You make them chase you and then you just turn around and you'll definitely get a shot because you have the same range. Oh, he has 1 hallucination. I would have even loved to see hallucination now in this group. But yeah, these Mutas are very, very inactive, very passive Mutas. I feel like there's a lot more play. It would be able to be done with those. He does finish up the Overlord speed. He's gonna send in 1 Overlord. Not sure if I like this decision. He could have gotten the same scouting intel with the Mutas, which could have done some aggressive poking there at the same point, same moment. He's gonna go into some Scourge now. I'm not sure if I like the idea of Scourge trying to kill off Phoenix, just because Phoenix do shoot very fast. They shoot in the direction they don't go if they need to, and they also have a very fast shooting animation. That means the connection from the laser beam is very, very quick. And the Scourge are gonna have a really bad time trying to hit those. Like against carriers, man, that's the thing you wanna trade with Scourge. Even though they have a lot of HP, if the carriers attacking animation and having the attack connect to a Scourge, you have hit the carrier already 3 times. Now, Phoenix coming in here trying to do some harass. There is a spore though, so you don't really want to be too aggressive with these. One Phoenix is being left behind here. Threepoint again, playing very timid on the engagements, I feel like. Very defensive, maybe overly. And is not trying to aggressively trade, which I feel like is a little bit of a waste. He had such a nice advantage after shutting down that first attack from Classic. And he had the attack advantage with like 10 meters against 2 Phoenix. That's the point we need to fight, in my opinion. Which he chose not to do. And he's kind of letting Classic get back into this game again. And now he's just gonna bleed down these meters to all of these Phoenixes. Which, by the way, are gonna be extremely helpful in lifting all of these lurkers as well. He just needs to get that vision. I don't think he has any detection right now. Actually, he does have observers. So, yeah. And you can't even, since you forced him into Phoenix, you can't even make Scourge hit observers because he has so many things. He can just tank for days and snipe those, and he's lifting so many units right now. All that free damage you get from the Phoenixes if you keep them alive, if you have a good amount of them. It's so much. Phoenix are some of the most efficient units in the game. Like, insane. It's not even close. They might be the most efficient unit. Now he finds the Overlord farm. Luckily, there was already Overlord speed being committed to, but he's gonna catch at least a couple here of these since they were moved over to safe positions. Gonna shoot down a bunch of more of these drones. 22 drones have already fallen down here. These links are not gonna do anything. Grooved Spines on the way, and Ultralisk with the upgrade, the Ultralisk Kindness plating. I think this is the one, yeah. I think you also need Ultralisk speed, by the way. And yeah, Hydra's trying to move out here against these Phoenixes. He's actually out of energy right now because he's been using them so much. But look at the lost value. It's so crazy. And now he also sees the Ultras. He's gonna kill all of these Overlords. There's not enough anti-air here. There's a bunch of Hydras now. But those are gonna get pulled out of the spore range, gonna get lifted, and then he's gonna commit into the Overlords again because they're not in a good position again. This is a infinite supply lock here for Threepoint. It feels like he could just make Phoenixes, but he's not even making any more Phoenixes. He's just utilizing the ones he made against the meters because he doesn't need them anymore. Man, and he's killing so freaking much. Red supply coming in here again very soon. The Phoenixes, the Overlords, I don't know why they're not clicked on top of the spore. Because that's where they need to be, honestly. They don't need to fly around, they need to be clicked on a spore. The fuck, man? What are we watching? It's a genocide! It's a genocide! Someone call the police! Those Phoenixes! They are doing a genocide over in the Zerg base. The Overlords, they have done nothing wrong. They even got speed to not try to be a nuisance and don't traffic jam anything. Those Phoenixes, they're just not keeping these. They're not letting them live. They're killing them. All of them. Wow. That's such an effective trade here. 9,000 lost resources to 2,900. 2,000 to 900. That's an insane 3 times the value here. He lost 23 Overlords. 10 meters. Only 5 Phoenixes have been killed off. 19 Hydras. That's the stuff the Phoenixes killed on top of the 31 drones, by the way. So those guys are worth their weight in gold, and they're actually all red health almost, because he has been very slightly microing them, actually pulling down the weak ones. There's the Ultralisk speed. Once that is done, I think we're gonna see a push here. 50%, that's actually very fast. Yeah, on top of creep now, 4.2 with 0.8 in addition. 50% faster? Really? Like 6.3 points. What the F, man? They're faster than Speedlings. How fast is Speedlings? 6.5. I guess they're almost as fast as Speedlings. Is that actually how that used to be? My god, those Ultras are fast. Ferrari Ultras here. Like, no one can stand up to those guys. We do see a mothership now coming in here. He's gonna lift some Hydras. There's no anti-air. It's such a stupid proposition, but and he's just gonna recall into the main base? Is this a good play? Ladies and gentlemen, the recall into the main, this is a bunch of immortals, but do you really want to stand inside a circle of Ultralisks? Is that the way to play the game? Maybe it is. Maybe it is, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it is. The ground army is gonna get demolished eventually here. I think the Immortal was not shooting that Ultralisk, so the last Ultralisk is gonna survive. The mothership needs to fight that Hydra, please. Please. Finally. And now we are uncontested in the air here. 3 Phoenixes. 2 observers, 2 Phoenixes, and 1 mothership do survive. This was never made into a spore, so now you can just shoot down this base with a mothership. Bunch of zealots trying to come in again, but that was literally the worst recall you could have ever done. While he's still kind of winning the game, but Scourge! The spore! The army, it was thrown away. Classic is like, oh damn, I think I just threw away my army. What am I doing now? Okay, let's spam some zealots and buy some time. What are those locusts doing? They're watching the zealots kill the hatchery. He was definitely missing that Q command there, or maybe he double Q'd it, unfortunately, so they burrowed and reborrowed or something. That was a big mistake. He loses 2 hatcheries now. Very unfortunate. And on the other side, Classic's playing mode was like, oh damn man, I need to actually make a couple bases here to make up for that lost army, because the 2,900 to 9,000 resources lost, that swung heavily in favor of Threepoint there in this fight. It's still in favor of Classic, but that was a very good fight for Threepoint. In the end though, still, he does give up his army, his one-trick army. Did get killed off, and Classic has too much of the map. I think it's a very real proposition. It's a very good call, and Classic will be the first one to move out of this group. That means we do remain with Threepoint in the decider match, and I think we're gonna see who will make it to the lowest match now.